In its reflection, he was the Nile's hunger, its rage, its power, with teeth. Let's see how the ancient god Sobek wasn't just feared, he was needed. At first, there was only darkness and water, endless, restless water. From this primordial sea rose something ancient, something hungry. He didn't arrive in gold or glory. He rose with instinct, with blood in his breath. He was born not from order, but from chaos itself, the very chaos the gods feared. In Egypt's oldest religious pyramid texts, he's called the Raging One, a crocodile who emerged from none, bringing both the promise of life and the threat of sudden, brutal death. Crocodiles ruled the Nile, just as Sobek ruled over its terror and its blessings. He could crush bone with a single snap, or guard your soul through the underworld. The god was a creator and a devourer, protector and predator. To the ancient Egyptians, this wasn't contradiction, it was balance. Duality was divine. You didn't just worship Sobek, you feared him. In ancient legend, he wept the Nile into being. His tears carved the river that fed Egypt, making him the father of both famine and fertility. One who cried a river, then filled it with teeth. Now, he stood behind kings. Sobek, once a predator of the Nile, had become something more, a symbol of unstoppable power, protection through dominance. Pharaohs didn't just fear him, they claimed him. To rule Egypt was to hold the Nile, and to hold the Nile was to carry God's strength in your blood. Temples rose in his honor. Cities like Crocodilopolis, yes, a real place, became sacred centers of worship. Priests adorned sacred crocodiles with gemstones and gold. The beast was now a god, and gods were crowned. The truth ancient Egyptians knew well: he was never tame. His favor was a double-edged blade. His love could make floods rise and crops flourish, but his rage could starve kingdoms. Pharaohs wore his image into battle. Warriors whispered his name in blood-soaked sand, because to strike like the god was to end a fight in one crushing blow. His name was carved into weapons, swords, spears, and axes, meant to strike with the speed and violence of a crocodile's bite. It came every year, like clockwork, or like a curse. The Nile rose, and with it, the god beneath its surface. Crocodiles flooded the land during inundation, not one, but hundreds, slipping through riverbanks, slashing through fields. And to the ancient Egyptians, this wasn't nature, this was Sobek, unleashed. His presence was tangible. You could feel it in the mud, hear it in the water, smell it in the fear. So, they begged for mercy, for protection, for fertility, all in the same breath. He didn't just bring water, he brought judgment. He could drown your home, or feed your crops. He could take your child, or bless your next one. He was the Nile itself, its chaos, its rhythm, its wrath. And still, they built his temples higher. In some of these temples, walls were carved not just to honor him, but to sound like him, engineered to echo with deep bellows. These sacred chambers mimicked Sobek's roar. When priests chanted, it was his voice that answered. The floods have passed. The temples stand in silence. The Nile flows on, vast, unbroken, eternal. Perhaps he's only sleeping beneath the surface. Sobek was never just a monster, never just a god. He was the Nile's reflection, its hunger and its generosity, its serenity and its violence.